Hello students, today on the request of my colleague, I am uploading English grade 7th video. XSEED English grade 7 block number 7 paraphrasing lesson plan 1 explaining a poem. Students will be able to explain the meaning of the poem in their own words. We spend our free time doing things that we like. We play outside with friends, play computer games and watch television. We watch television for about 1 to 2 hours every day. In a week, we spend about 10 to 12 hours watching television. We spend 2 to 5 hours a week reading a book. In the last 3 months, we have read 1 to 3 books. Today we will read and discuss the meaning of the poem Television by Roald Dahl. Before starting, let's understand the meaning of glossary. Clutters, fills or litters with the things in a disorderly manner. Nothing fits on John's desk because he clutters it so much. This is a picture of a messy room which is disorderly manner. John's bedroom is so untidy because he clutters it so much. Crouching, stopping or bending low. We watched as the tigress sat crouching behind the bushes ready to pounce on the deer. Can you see the picture? This is called crouching. Galore, in plenty. The shop is filled with gifts galore. This is the shop which is filled with gifts galore. Hypnotized, influenced, controlled. The piper hypnotized the children and they followed him out of the town. Install, to put a machine or a system into position and make ready for use. They installed a new water purifier in their house. Muffled, sound made softer by some obstruction or covering the source. Hushed, grandma's voice came muffled from under the quilt. The girl's voice came muffled from under the scarf. Nauseating, causing sickness or churning of the stomach. The smell of rotten food in the garbage was nauseating. Wondrous, wonderful or remarkable. The children stared open-mouthed at the wondrous sight. Now let's read out the poem. The most important thing we have learned so far as children are concerned is never let them near your television set. Or better still, just don't install the idiotic thing at all. In almost every house we have watched them gaping at the screen. They loll and slop and lounge about and stare until their eyes pop out. They sit and stare and sit until they are hypnotized by it, until they are absolutely drunk with all that shocking, ghastly junk. Oh yes, we know it keeps them still. They don't climb out the windowsill. They never fight or kick or punch. They leave you free to cook the lunch and wash the dishes in the sink. But did you ever stop to think, to wonder just exactly what this does to your beloved thought? It rots the sense in the head, it kills imagination dead, it clogs and clutters up the mind, it makes a child so dull and blind. He can no longer understand a fantasy, a fairyland. His brain becomes as soft as cheese, his powers of thinking rust and freeze. He cannot think, he only sees, all right you will cry, all right you will say. But if we take the set away, what shall we do to entertain? The first part of the poem is about how television affects children. The poet feels that once a television set comes into the house, children do nothing but watch it all day. Parents may be justified in using it as means to distract their children from themselves so that they are free to do their household chores. However, it turns children into mindless individuals. The second part mainly deals with the poet telling parents to introduce children to the world of books instead of television. Once children get used to reading, says the poet, they will forget television completely. The poet is addressing parents in the poem. He is requesting them to encourage their dear children to read and enter the world of books to become imaginative and clever. He feels that watching television not only makes children lazy and dull, but it kills their power of imagination too. The poet asks to move away from television, but in today's life it is impossible to completely remove television from anyone's life. However, the time spent on it can be reduced to make time for other activities like playing outdoor with friends or reading books. Before television was invented, people went out to watch movies, plays, and music and dance shows. They met friends over a game of cards or badminton and other games. Inside the house, people usually read the books or played games together for entertainment. Now, students, open your S1 of Block 7 and let's start doing it. He describes the bridges and the ditches that the train crosses. They pass by fields and meadows and plains. They pass by busy stations without stopping at them. The poet observes a child wandering alone and a lady who just gazes into the distance. Each sight they see is a blur as the train moves very fast, all of them very quickly. First, name of the poem. From a railway carriage. Name of the poet, R.L. Stevenson. The main idea of the poem is about the sights one enjoys when traveling in a train. 3 important details. The poet is traveling in a train. The train is moving very fast. There are many beautiful sights along the way. Explain the meaning of the poem in your own words. The poet, while traveling in a train, come across many beautiful and interesting sights. In this poem, he is describing them to us. Next question. Explain the meanings of the lines. And charging along like troops in a battle. The movement of the train reminds of the poet of the movement of troops marching ahead steadily to fight a battle. And ever again in the wink of an eye, painted stations whistle by. The trains move so far that it whistles past several stations, making them pass by in a blur.